my gosh. Congratulations. Of course, how could I forget?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dorm Debate podcast. Oh, I almost stuttered there. I usually go through that so easily. It's
I
like
didn't
nervous
second nature.
today, huh?
I didn't hear a stutter.
Oh, maybe it was just me. Maybe it was just my brain. But look we have the whole cast finally, and we're gonna have them the whole time. Jonathan's not gonna leave. Caleb's gonna show up on time, and John's here as always. I'm always here. We're back. And Caleb, look at your outfit. If you're not on YouTube and you can't see, he is decked out in Eagles apparel. He's even got the scarf. Unbelievable.
This is what I wore to the game.
Oh, yes, the game. So that's a great segue. Now, the Eagles didn't play in our game that we went to. It was Cowboys Giants, but Caleb had to support the Eagles regardless. And he wore the jersey that he's wearing now, the Super Bowl edition of Nick Foles.
I didn't realize.
That patch kind of sneaks into frame.
Yeah,
there.
wow, yeah. Oh, this is an Eagles jersey. What a coincidence.
So I imagine the fans already know that the Giants nor Cowboys fans were nice to you that day. Can you just give a little insight? You know, we're going to have some vlogging coming out soon. And you can actually see as we're recording people heckling you as we're walking by. So just kind of tell everyone what your experience is like at the game. Because for Jonathan, it was all fun and games and no one heckled them at all.
Jonathan, I feel like Jonathan, for context, because I did miss last podcast last week, which where you guys talked more about it. But Giants, Cowboys, and I feel like, Jonathan, you got more love than even John as a Giants fan. Yeah. And I'm like, you know, I feel like, it was a lot of fun, but this almost feels therapeutic where it's like where, like you're asking me, like, where did the Cowboys fan and the Giants fan hurt you? You know, like what words did they say that really, got on it? What's crazy is you'll see it in the vlog once we put that out, is like people stopped their conversations to like say like hateful things about the Eagles. Like they would be, oh, what's up, Jonathan? What's up, Cowboys fan, Giants fan, John? You know, and they're like, what are you doing here, man? You're in the wrong place, you know? Yeah, and, we always say in Dorm Debate we have a lively debate, and, if we can dish it, we can take it, you know? But it was really surprising to me that wearing an Eagles jersey and I think a scarf as well to the Giants-Cowboys game garnered me a lot of, I wouldn't say new friends, but a lot of conversations with strangers that bordered on the offensive, you know?
I mean, it was like the whole game too. Like even some of the people behind us, it was like,
I was in line. Oh yeah, no, I wasn't. I'm not too bothered by it. Again, I work in fast food. I work at a gas station. Conflict de-escalation is what I'm trained in. I think. I also know that if this was the other way around, like if it was Eagles, Giants, Eagles, Cowboys, the hate would be so much, almost tenfold at Lincoln Financial Field. So, as an Eagles fan, we're known for, even though it's the city of brotherly love, you guys saw the railing. I mean, that's not funny, but it happened, right? Like we were texting the group chat. For those who don't know, Jalen Hurts was leaving the stadium of a Washington football team. It was at the Washington Stadium. And the railing broke, and the Eagles fans fell 10 feet, and then immediately started encouraging Hurts as if
I love that Hurts
they didn't just fall from
him on the back.
Yeah, helping him up.
He did have a letter. So I respect the letter being serious. Like, hey, what are you gonna do to improve security and stuff? Because I handled it well, but you don't want anyone to get hurt. With respect, but Eagles fans will push the railing over, but also immediately just ignore their injuries and just be like, "Hey, good job on the game, good win," But yeah, it was a lot of fun to be around the game with you guys. It was certainly really interesting because I think we'll mention this on the vlog, but because the Cowboys are probably going to win and it was Glennon starting, I feel like the Giants fans couldn't insult Jonathan the way they might have wanted to with the Cowboys jersey, and then the same thing as the Cowboys, it wasn't an important game. It was, but their bigger rivals, the Eagles. So it was almost like a for sure win for them. So it was like I was a third party punching bag, and that's fine. It's fine. But now the Eagles are in the playoffs. I am very pleased. If my small sacrifice brought this outcome through the butterfly effect, then I'm more than happy to do it again.
Well, next year we're going to have to schedule an Eagles game. We have to. for you to endure that, I think it's only right.
Chargers,
Yeah.
Eagles.
Chargers, Eagles in LA. By that point, we'll probably be doing game days. We'll be doing like live shows like College Game Day, and we're just gonna be road tripping around to every game every week.
NFL
yeah. And where are we gonna get that funding, Jared?
NFL will pay a ticket. Pat Mac, something.
I feel something coming. Maybe a Dunkin' Donuts branding or something. Maybe a partnership.
Maybe one of us should buy a lottery ticket or something. That's our best chance.
We'll see. I'm already thinking about next year's. I was literally looking at if schedules came out next year, and
have they?
Nope, not yet.
No. Okay.
Nope. Not for a long time, but I was already thinking. I'm already like planning the next trip.
That was such a fun trip, though. I mean, part of the heckling was so much fun. It's just it's banter. I never felt unsafe, right? But it was certainly like I also couldn't dish it back because I was like, yeah, the Eagles gotta. I think we lost that week or no, we were on a win streak, but yeah, we weren't.
Yeah,
in the
you
playoffs
won.
yet.
Yeah,
we did win, but we weren't in the playoffs yet, so I had to hold back. You know what I mean? I can't hype it up, and then if we were to lose, we would have been over. But no, here we are.
Right. And we're gonna talk about the Eagles. This is our first topic. It's probably the first time in a long time that we've talked about the Eagles. Last year we talked about Jalen Hurts at lengths every single episode. This year we toned it down. They laid under the radar. They didn't do too many things crazy.
Right.
So then the next topic, we'll talk about the playoff spots. And then third, we're going to talk about a team that you were surprised didn't make the playoffs. There was a couple, Seahawks, Browns, those teams that were ranked high in the preseason ranking and are now outside of the playoffs. The first topic at hand, the Eagles have clinched a playoff spot, folks. It seems so strange to say that. They didn't. It's weird. I looked at their schedule. Their best win is against the Saints. So in my head, they did literally at the bare minimum to make the playoffs. They even lost a game to the Giants at one point. Like, this team was so under the radar that I was shocked that they made it. But let's take a look at the Eagles from last year. Now, 2020. So 4-11-1 season in 2020. They came in dead last in the NFC East. Dead last. You lose your franchise quarterback in Carson Wentz. Then you fire your Super Bowl winning coach, Doug Peterson. You hire Nick Sirianni, who has never been a head coach at any level of football. Then you start QB Jalen Hurts, who only had a limited amount of starts in 2020, so very risky there. And their top weapon on offense was going to be a rookie receiver in Devontae Smith. Now, a lot of people said that this team was doomed. They did not have high hopes for the Eagles, and rightfully so. I mean, all signs point to a rough rebuilding season, and they pull out 9-7, could potentially have 10 wins this season. Devontae Smith is a solid, if not above average, wide receiver one. He finally, after all these years, after picking Jalen Reagor and all these other no-name guys, you finally find a star receiver. Oh, it's so great, Caleb.
Feels good.
Feels good. Your defense is top 10 in nearly every defensive category, and they have the most rushing yards per game in the last 8 games. All of this with a rookie head coach, Nick Sirianni. Caleb, this is your time to shine. You've held back all season long. Give the people what they want. Give the Eagles fans what they want. Take a little victory lap as the Eagles make the playoffs.
I thank you for that introduction and that summary. That's really well done, Jared. And
thank you.
Yeah, I've had to hold back. We were watching some of the old podcasts and how much we all, but especially me, used to take a compilation of every time I said Hurts or Wentz, and it's kind of cringe. So I did better this season at trying to hold back, but certainly not time to run around the merry-go-round. It's crazy to think that they are in the playoffs, because come the first day of the season or first couple games, even didn't feel confident. I mean, I'm always going to root for the Eagles. I'm always going to believe we have a chance of making the playoffs. But with all the stats against us, the rookie coach, like usually that first year coach, it's very rare to make the playoffs. And then, Jalen Hurts was still a question mark and didn't have much experience other than like the same. We talked about him as the same issues that plagued Wentz towards the end of his time at the Eagles happened in his first season. So we didn't know what would happen with the proper rebuild. But I am really pleasantly, happily surprised that the team kind of came together and had the pieces to make it. I'll point out, like you said, Devontae Smith was the first wide receiver draft in a long time that like actually reflected the ranking at which we got him. No, I still like Rager and others, but what's tough for a player like Rager, and this is, a human being, so I don't want to like dog on him the way other Philly fans might, but it's tough being compared to Justin Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb was gone, but who's the other guy?
DK Metcalf.
Metcalf, yeah. Those are two guys that are really tough to, as Eagles fans, like to be compared to, But Smith is the first guy that's like he has a superstar receiving capability to get. I don't know if you guys saw the touchdown last week or this week where he gets like a ballet dancer, 2 toes in the end zone for the touchdown. It's really incredible. And like some people on Twitter were like he's a small guy, but he's not. Like he's a receiver and he's good. So it's really cool to see that come together. Darius Slay has come into form. For years our secondary has sucked, and Darius Slay is like I just put a lot of confidence in him and McLeod and all these players, as well as I wanted to read a tweet about from Jeff. I can't pronounce his last name, but it's interesting stats about the Eagles and Sirianni, mainly Sirianni. But only the 4th rookie head coach in NFL history to clinch a winning season after starting 2-5 or worse. Now, around that time is what I'm remembering as an Eagles fan. Like, yeah, this is probably. I think I remember. I didn't throw in the towel, but I was like, yeah, this is about what I can imagine a first-year head coach rebuilding era starts as, right? So it's crazy we're there. Most wins by a new Eagles head coach since 1995, and most wins by any of the NFL head coaches hired in 2021. So of all the rookie head coaches, he has the most wins, which is crazy considering it's the year maybe someone would have thought Urban Meyer, right? And how has that turned out? So it's certainly a crazy year. I'm ecstatic. I mean, it is still. I'm in playoff mindset where it's really cool to have made the playoffs, but we got a chance to go all the way. So you take it a game at a time, control what you have. I mean, clip me if you want. Like, I think the Eagles, if you're in the playoffs, you have a chance to go to the Super Bowl. So we just got to, you don't want to get too high and mighty. Like, getting to the playoffs was not the goal for me anymore. I mean, for when you start off 2-5, that's a cool thing to put on your resume. But now it's like you got a chance to play NFL at a professional level and compete in the Super Bowl, or let alone the playoffs, but game by game. I'm super happy.
Talk your shit, Caleb. Talk your shit. Now let's open this up for John and Jonathan. I guess the question at hand, now that they've made the playoffs, can they win in the playoffs? John, do you believe that this team could make an upset?
So I want to start off first. Congratulations, Caleb. Making the playoffs in the NFL is not easy to do. Obviously, my Giants showed that. But
you did.
I do agree with Jared that, I mean, when you look at their schedule, they haven't really played that many tough teams. And when they have, they didn't perform that well. They lost to the 49ers, who are a potential playoff team. They lost to the Cowboys 41-21, lost to the Chiefs, lost to the Bucks, and they lost to the Chargers. The best Giants they lost to. I don't know how you do that, but they did beat the
Jalen
Saints.
Reagor dropped the freaking pass. That's why.
Well, yeah, that's exactly why. But so their best game is putting 40 up on the Saints, which is very hard to do. So I will give you that. But to answer your question, yeah, this team can definitely win in the playoffs. And the reason is because nobody knows what's going to happen this year. Like, literally anybody could beat anybody. We've seen that with the AFC. Every time a team gets to the top, they lose. And the same is with the NFC. And a lot of these teams, the Packers have the least win or least losses in the league with 13. But there's, like, in previous years, there've been a lot of teams that were like 13-3 or 14-2
Panthers
even.
15-1, I think.
Right. So like this is a year where like crazier things can happen. And like when you look at who the Eagles could play, like the worst case scenario is that they play the Cowboys in the first round. But I mean, if they play the Rams or the Buccaneers, they could definitely beat them. Like Rams and Buccaneers, like Buccaneers with all their injuries and Rams with their inconsistency. Nobody wants to play the Eagles, who have a top 10 defense and a top 10 running game. That's very tough. In January football, playoff football, it's not going to be easy to beat the Eagles. If they have they have the best ground game and a top 10 defense, it's going to be tough. Eagles are going to be a tough out, and I wouldn't be surprised if they won a game. It's going to be close, whichever one they play.
Yeah, and guys, remind me, it's 8 teams on each side that make the playoffs, or is it 7?
7.
7, okay.
That's
First
2
seed.
more than usual, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
first,
one more than usual.
One more
first
than
seed
usual.
gets a bye, and then the rest play each other.
Interesting. Yeah, well, Caleb, like Jared and John mentioned, congrats to Eagles on making the playoffs.
Thank you.
On clinching the playoffs. It's a big deal. But I'll have to disagree with John on that last point.
That we can win a game. That's the part.
Yeah. I mean,
Agree
look, the NFC is not like it's sort of like the AFC to a certain extent. I would say the top 6 teams that have clinched: Packers, Rams, Bucks, Cowboys, Cardinals. Anybody could come out with the NFC Championship, but the Eagles, they haven't shown me anything this year.
Well, I don't
weakness.
think they're gonna make the championship. But wasn't the question like, can they win a game? Or...
Okay, all right. Even that, I don't think they can win a game. They're not going to be able to beat.
Jeez.
They can't. I'm sorry. I mean, this is not my opinion. This is just
This is
This is not my opinion. This is a fact.
it's just a fact. I mean, they look at all these teams: Packers, Rams, Bucks, Cowboys, Cardinals.
But they've all been beat. They've all had bad games.
They definitely
but
won't play
Eagles-
the Packers. They
Yeah,
won't
they won't
play
play.
out of the 1 seed.
The Eagles don't have what it takes. I mean, there's too much
Oh, no.
weaknesses.
No,
Like Jalen Hurts, I was saying, there's still going to be some quarterback controversy in the next couple of years, with Gardner Minshew being that more pocket passer that has a better passer rating. He hasn't played in much games, but he's a better passer rating.
He's
than Jalen
played
Hurts.
one game. Of course,
Jalen
Trying to get
Hurts-
Sirianni to see this. Put
Against
Gardner
the-
Minshew in so we can lose the first game.
Jalen Hurts has.
I know what you're doing, Jonathan.
He has an 87.2 passer rating this season. That's not
What
great.
does Minshew have?
130.4.
He played one.
Oh,
game.
start him. Yep, put him
one
in.
game against the Jets. That's not fair.
Dude,
Hey,
I should
well-
play NFL, throw one completed pass, and then I have 100% completion.
So-
Just never retire immediately.
And then you
So
deserve
look,
$1 million contract then.
yeah. I mean, look, I like Jalen Hurts. He's a great guy, but I mean, I haven't seen that he can carry this franchise yet. He's improving. He's getting better, but right now there's weaknesses in the offense, and obviously there's weaknesses in the defense. If the Cowboys can score 40 points on you, right? And in terms of receiving, their highest receiver had 875 yards, DeVonta Smith. You need a receiver that can have more than 1,000 yards in a season. That's an efficient offense. Their highest rusher was Jalen Hurts. I mean, you need a running back that can run the ball. And so their offense can easily be stopped. And I agree with what they were saying. The only incredible win this year was against the Saints, but everything else, nothing too impressive. That Washington football team, they really struggled to get that W. And Washington football team, they're depleted right now. They have internal issues. People were yelling at each other on the sidelines when Cowboys beat them. So it should have. I don't think it should have been that close. So look, I don't think they're gonna win a game. Congrats on making the playoffs, but they still have some issues to fix. And they're lucky that they extended. How much people can make the playoffs, because
well,
they don't look too great.
One
no
thing-
offense, Caleb, but
One thing I do want to say.
Don't hold back.
What do you feel about the Eagles and the Buccaneers could match up in the first round, right? Now, they already played this season, and it was in Philadelphia, and the Buccaneers only beat them 28-22. So Hurts had 2 rushing touchdowns in that game, and he had 1 passing touchdown to Zach Ertz, who's not on the team anymore. But they held Brady and company to 28 points, and they were able to put up 22. So it was close enough where they could potentially beat him this second time around.
It's not going to happen. Tom Brady's, we all know he's different in the playoffs. They're going to go berserk on the Eagles. They want to prove a point. They want to
He's
prove a
gonna
point.
go berserk.
Yeah.
For revenge for 20 for this?
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to defend their Super Bowl championship. They're definitely going to want to prove a point.
Yeah, they're not going to get embarrassed.
Yeah, they're definitely going to want to prove a point. So
Jets were close.
They were very close.
But I know I expect no less, Jonathan, and I accept the backhanded compliment. This is what we do.
Yeah, I mean,
but I will.
yeah,
Okay, I'll play opponent. What I will say is for the first couple games we did not run the ball. Like Sanders, I don't think Howard was available, but we were just and we talked about it. Like Nick Sirianni was a history as a wide receiver coach, and it's like the idea of running the ball was not on the radar until the fans basically. I saw a tweet where it's like the Philadelphia fans basically bullied the Eagles into running the ball, and that's when we started winning games. Was when we started to run. I mean, what's crazy to think, and stats are a mystery sometimes, but on ESPN, yards per game higher than the Colts, than the Titans, than the Browns is the Philadelphia Eagles yards per game, and as well as overall yards. So and part of that you attribute it to Jalen Hurts' ability to run, but he's also a good passer, better than I think. Like Lamar's good too, but I think Hurts is really impressed with his connections to Smith and having Smith being that superstar. And I'll give you credit for is I think sometimes our defense, our play calling does get us in a position where it gets down to a 1-score game when it didn't need to be. Like if anything, the narrative that the Eagles are a second half team, I will give you, and that can hurt us if a team blows up in the first half. It can become insurmountable. But I know as a fan of any team, I think I'd rather be a second half team than just a first half team, giving up leads. But I don't know. I feel like I'm curious. I mean, obviously I'm biased, but I feel like with the defensive line that we got, there's no one rusher that you really have to. There's Boston Scott had a great game, but you still have Howard. You still have other players who can kill it. Our offensive line has been healthy and really like Kelsey, Johnson, Mailata, all these other guys that have stepped up have been real good. And then the defensive line's getting pressure too. So I could see on the secondary, I think Slay's a lock, but there are different. Maybe our linebacking core needs some over the middle to get some passes on us, but both lines in the run game are pretty much three pieces you really need to win games. Because if you can run the ball, you can control the clock, get 3 and outs. If you keep Tom Brady off the field, that's like if you can control the drives, make them play your game. Can the Eagles do that? I think they can. So I don't know.
Yeah, and Jared, I want your opinion. Do you think the Eagles, who haven't beat a playoff team all year, do you think they could win in the playoffs?
Anyone can. The way the season's been going, I feel like anyone could beat anyone. What's the saying, Caleb? That should be the saying of the whole year.
Any given Sunday?
Any given Sunday. There's no year.
Well, they play on Saturday.
Okay, well, every time you bring up the quote, I'm proven wrong.
What was rude?
I will say there was an Instagram post of it wasn't Instagram, but wins against teams with 10 or more wins. The Lions have 1. The Washington football team has 1. The Cowboys have 0.
Oh,
wow.
Right back at you, John.
I don't know if that's true.
Wow.
That was a
so
tweet,
Washington is better than the Cowboys.
In the Lions.
That was a tweet I saw on Sunday. So
boom, roasted.
Anything can happen both ways.
Really, you better be on your game.
Eagles have a chance. I mean, when you have a run game, you have a chance because if you can establish the run, that complements the pass very well. They have a great offensive line, great defensive line. They have a lot of veterans. Darius Slay's up there in age. Who's injured? Is Brandon Graham out for the season?
Yeah.
So they have Fletcher Cox still, who's a veteran. Jonathan, you want to say something?
No, I'm saying you say if you have a run game, then that will help, but they don't have a run game. That's the issue.
What do you mean they don't have a run game? They have the number 1 run game in the league.
Just because they don't have a leading back, but they have a quarterback that can run and 3 running backs that are able to play well.
Yeah. You don't seem convinced.
No, I mean, you can't have your quarterback rushing every second. You see what I'm saying?
He does it.
Dude, what about Lamar? So you're saying Lamar? So you're saying Lamar won a playoff game, and he runs mainly.
Well, that's different. The offenses are built differently. That's more of a smash mouth type offense in Baltimore, but here on the Eagles, that's not the design of the offense. He just runs whenever he wants to. They're not designed runs.
That's even better, actually. So then the defense doesn't know.
No, I mean, coaches call plays strategically, and he kind of ruins it every time he runs.
Oh
no!
Look, I think
it's part of the game.
I think their offense is pretty predictable. We know Hurts can't throw, so if you take that away, then
we don't know.
That's not true.
he's okay, but I think what's going to be telling is this weekend. They play the Cowboys at home on Saturday night. They need to win this game. This is a preparation for the playoffs. They need to win this game. They need to try to win this game and prove that they could beat the Cowboys, get some momentum going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
I would for that. I don't know. Do you think Cowboys need the win more than the Eagles? Like the Eagles don't get higher up with a win, right?
Yeah, they could get to the 6th.
With that, okay.
Because the 49ers would have to lose to
I do
Rams.
agree.
You
I
need
do
help,
agree
I
that
think, right?
Yeah, I do agree that the Cowboys have more to play for because right
Yeah.
now they would be matched up with the Cardinals, and I think they'd
Oh,
rather
right.
not
Right,
play the
that's fine.
Cardinals, who they just lost to. So I
Well,
think the Cowboys
yeah.
are going to want to beat the Eagles.
It was a close game, though. I'll give you that.
Yeah, well, we play the Cardinals at home, right? If right now the way it looks,
Yeah,
that's the case. Okay, yeah, if that's the case, then definitely we don't want to play the Cardinals.
yeah.
Kyler Murray, he's just undefeated at AT&T Stadium. That's why they
shoot.
win,
Yeah, that's
because he never loses there.
yeah. So you guys better hope you win. You guys got to beat the Eagles.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, yeah, because I was saying maybe because for the if I mean we've been beating the dead horse on the Eagles, but part of me would say bench because Hurts I think had an ankle injury, and I know he's playing, but if he's not 100, I'd say put Minshew in for that game. Like try to win and just maybe keep everyone else, but have Minshew be the quarterback to keep Hurts.
Well,
so much
I
of the
mean,
run
you're
game.
already Miles Sanders broke his hand. Jordan Howard and Boston Scott are on the COVID list, so now you just got Kenneth Gainwell left anyway.
Right.
So maybe you do at
Maybe
this
you
point.
bench the starters because again, you're already in the playoffs. It's we are
You know
underdogs.
the Cowboys are going to come out and play their hearts out. So you're like, okay, do we want to really get destroyed here?
We always want to bring a team down with us, but
you do want. What about like getting them that momentum? Like that's not good for team morale. Like to go be in the playoffs and then you're like, all right, let's just like not really play this game, and then it's like,
yeah, I don't know, because same with like, well, it just gets to we're at that point of the season,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess to wrap it up, look, the Eagles have a chance. And Jonathan, I don't know what happened last year. You were all Jalen Hurts, and now you're off the freaking bandwagon.
I think it's because the Cowboys are in the playoffs.
I think
and
he's
might
scared of the
them.
Eagles.
Yeah,
no, I like the guy, but I haven't seen anything impressive this year. I mean, there's too much good NFC teams.
No, yeah, there hasn't. You're right. There hasn't been that much impressive. Like the most impressive win is against the 8-8 Saints. So like,
yeah, and the Saints aren't. I still take that.
with the circumstances of this year, with a rookie and brand new head coach and a rookie receiver, barely any veterans in the.
I mean, they lost to the Giants. I mean,
then we beat the Giants.
Yeah, but that was on a play that Hurts threw a perfect ball to Rieger to end the game, and
he shouldn't have even gotten to that point. You know how bad the Giants are. How do you even get to that?
I do remember
he threw 3 interceptions to the Giants.
Yeah, I remember turnovers are a weakness. I will give you.
Yeah,
that.
it is a weakness. Yeah,
that could be because we lead the league in rushing yards per game, and then average total yards for the season, yards per game, touchdowns. But we also have like top 3 in fumbles, which could be attributed to how much we run too. Like I wonder what the ratio is. But yeah, turnovers kill us. But we'll I don't know. We'll see.
They got a shot, and all that matters is they're in. That's all that matters.
Yep, that was the biggest.
Yeah, all the opportunities now for the Eagles to win and potentially have an upset. All right, number 2, the playoff spots for the AFC and NFC East. Right now, we have 2 open spots for the AFC. We have 1 open spot for the NFC. Let's go over the scenarios. For the AFC, you have the Chargers versus Raiders. Winner gets in. It's that simple. The Colts versus Jaguars. Colts win, they get in, and then that's it. That's the end of it. If they lose,
if the Colts lose,
the eyes go to the Steelers versus Ravens, and the winner would get in. Granted, the Chargers and Raiders don't tie.
Right.
That's the scenario for the AFC. The NFC, there's 1 open spot. You have 2 games to look at. Saints and Falcons. Now, if the Saints win, they're not in. They have to go look at the 49ers-Rams game, and they need the 49ers to lose to the Rams. If the 49ers beat the Rams, 49ers take that last spot. So it's a tad bit confusing, I know, but I think the more we talk about it, the more people start to get it. So let's start with the AFC first. You have the Chargers versus Raiders. Winner gets in. Let's go around here, just really quick.
Well,
Chargers
before we go into each opinion, do you guys know about the tie scenario with that?
Yeah, the tie.
No. The tie scenario?
So the Colts are playing Jacksonville. Very bad Jacksonville, right? And Jared, you mentioned this, so I just want to, because I was reading some articles about a nightmare scenario for NFL, like the league or the broadcasting. So if the Colts were to be beaten by the terrible Jacksonville Jaguars this season, right, for this next game, the Colts lose, then potentially what could happen for the Raiders versus Chargers game, right? That's the, just making sure, again, I'm trying to keep up with everything. For Raiders versus Chargers, if they tie, both teams get into the playoffs. So what potentially could happen is a team just both teams just kneel the ball over and over, and the game ends 0-0, and they both get in the playoffs. Just if the Colts were to lose.
Well, why would they ever want to do that, though?
They both get in the playoffs.
But why? I don't think anybody would agree on that.
This is like
you think the coaches would be fired?
But
the coach would they? Because you say I got the team to the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, this is a
handshake at the end of the game. It's like, congrats, I'll see you in the playoffs.
This is one of those statistical riddles where it's like you get 50%, but I get. You know what I mean? Like you're wagering. It's a human behavior. It's. I don't know if that would happen because
no. But what if
teams will want to win? But I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
a couple articles are saying, man, like what if they both just kneel it?
What if they both do that? But what if you do that and you're the head coach, and then on the last play in the fourth quarter, the other team has to kneel it and they throw a Hail Mary and they win, and you'd be fired, and you would have to plant yourself in your bed for the rest of your life. You wouldn't be able to show your face. People would hate you forever. You can't take that risk that like the other team just decides to start playing again.
You would think yeah. Well, they're both not. I don't know.
The opponent would have like so much trust issues after that point.
Or how much hate would the winning coach get? Like, I mean, like that's unsportsmanlike to begin with, but to go even beyond that, like there's no honor among.
He wouldn't get any hate. They'd be like, "What? Did I sign a contract that I had to do it?" No.
Yeah. So you think they get more hate if they both went 0-0? Like they just both gave up, basically.
Dude, the commissioner would fire both GMs.
No,
he'd be like, "I need you."
Fire them.
It's just like when the Eagles threw the game against the Redskins.
They benched Hurts in the third to lose, so we got
Nate Sudfeld. I'll never forget.
Yeah, so that the Giants wouldn't make it.
Hey, but that's the. I mean, you that decision now is kind of what's helping us make the playoffs this year. So like, what's it all for? If not, I'm just saying if the Colts were to lose, but I think. I don't know. That only happens if the Colts somehow lose, which a couple of statistics are saying the Colts haven't won in years in Jacksonville for whatever reason. So for some reason, the Jaguars play really tough against the Colts. So I don't think the league.
That would be very interesting to see if they.
I would love for the Jaguars just to see psychologically what happens, because I feel like from the moment the game starts, it's a normal game.
What if they play really hard and then they end up going to overtime just by happenstance, and then the coaches are like, "Oh wait, do you just want to knee this?"
Yeah, I don't know, because what the benefit of it, for if anyone is wondering, we didn't specify, the Colts do play earlier, so by the time the Chargers-Raiders game is on, they'll know the fate of the game. So that's another fact. So by all likelihood, if the Colts win, they're in, right?
Right.
For
Colts win, they're in. Chargers-Raiders, either one of them wins, they're in. The Steelers and Ravens both need
help.
Yeah,
they need to win and Colts loss.
Yeah, I wanted to explore that because a couple articles were saying the nightmare scenario for the broadcasters.
That would be so funny.
I know. Part of me really wants to see that because you both win. Okay, but sorry, Jared, you wanted our opinion. Just I wanted to bring that up because I thought.
Well, you know what? Worth now that gave me some time to think, so that's good. But let's hold off on the Chargers Raiders. Let's just agree that. Say the Chargers or Raiders get in. We'll talk about that later of who the winner is. But let's talk about if the Jaguars pull off the upset against the Colts. And now look at
Wait, what do you mean if?
You mean when? No, I'm kidding. I think Colts are gonna win.
I would love Jacksonville to win. I'm all for this team now. They fired Urban Meyer. I'm back on the train. I didn't even know they had Denard Robinson as their running back coach. So wow. What do they say? Go Duval or something? I don't know what the term is.
That is what they say. I don't know what
Yeah,
it means.
I'm a big Jags fan. My dog's name's Jax. That's their acronym, JAX.
Oh,
So
maybe
Dang.
maybe you need to get a jersey.
maybe they drafted Denard Robinson, so I'll get a Denard Robinson jersey or something. But say Jacksonville wins, and now you go to the Steelers versus Ravens game. Who do you like there? I mean, we saw the Steelers last night with Big Ben. The Ravens took a tough loss to. Oh, I'm gonna hate myself.
Don't do
Who
that.
Rams beat the Ravens.
Rams, yep, which they should have won.
Yeah,
They blew
Odell
it.
had that touchdown within the last minute.
Yep, they blew it. So now the Ravens are in this position. Who do we like here? Steelers or Ravens? A division rival here.
I mean, I think we could agree that it really depends if Lamar plays, right? Like he hasn't played and they're on a 5-game losing streak. It is in Baltimore, and the
Yep.
Steelers beat them 20-19 earlier this year, but that was in Pittsburgh. I mean, if Lamar plays, I would take the Ravens, but if Lamar doesn't, I would take the Steelers.
Problem is that Steelers offense looked really bad last night. They luckily
Yeah,
got a
but
garbage time touchdown by Najee. He had like his career game, but other than that, it looked really bad.
So did the Ravens, though, against the Rams.
Even
They did. They
Yeah.
did. They both suck. I can't argue either.
Yeah, I mean, Matthew Stafford is making a lot of stupid throws and stuff.
Yeah.
and that's why it was kind of closer.
That was tough for you. You had him as your quarterback. For
I know it was
fantasy.
annoying.
close.
I would have to go with Steelers because hey, this is Big Ben's last ride potentially, and I just want him to have a little bit of success right before he calls it a career.
No.
So I would have to go Steelers. I think that'll be nice if they were able to secure a playoff spot in Big Ben's final regular season game.
Caleb.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too. Like it would be poetic for Big Ben to get the playoff game, and because I know he's alluded to it, but I think it's pretty much a given that it's his last season. It's crazy because he's always been like the quarterback in Pittsburgh for like almost my entire memory as a football fan. So we talked a lot about changing of the guard with other quarterbacks across other like teams and stuff. So he's one of those older guys that's seems like it's his last season. So it would be poetic for him to get into the playoffs. That said, if they get in, I think it's more for the honor of it. I don't think they have the team that could go all the way. Props to them if they can. But I'm actually going to give this game to the Ravens because I think their record's a bit misleading in terms of we've talked about this a little bit, how they've gone for 2 when they could have gone for 1. And I think they haven't made it a couple times. So there was a couple games where they could have won had they played safer. But I still, maybe in hindsight, they will regret it a little bit. But I still respect that mindset of even when Lamar wasn't playing, they were in a position and they like Harbaugh asked the guys like, you want to go for 2 or hit the extra point? They're like, let's go for 2. Like I respect controlling your fate than giving it to the flip of a coin or to like let the other guy get the field within 2 minutes or something. So that said, I think they're a better team than the record lets on. And even with all the injuries, the fact that they're still in contention is pretty impressive. So that's why I don't want to rule them out. If Lamar plays, I think it just adds more power. But Jared, like you said, I don't think the Steelers, they do have a good defense, but I think if it's pound for pound, I think the Ravens will get it.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like for the storyline of the NFL, sure, you want Big Ben to make the playoffs, but I think Big Ben kind of knows like it's a long shot, right? The Colts are obviously going to win in Jacksonville. If by some miracle the Jaguars win, I don't think they can beat the Ravens. I really don't. I think the Ravens have played well. I know Huntley has been up and down, but I feel like he brings the best out of Mark Andrews, who's the best player on that offense right now. And when that happens, when that duo is working well, then they're able to win games. Unfortunately, he only has 1 win to his name, Huntley, but I think he can get it done. I think they had Caleb, what game was it where they went for
Packers.
It? Well, with Huntley, right? With Huntley.
Yeah, that was with
that
Huntley,
was with Huntley, but they had a game a couple weeks before that.
Yeah, the week before, and Lamar did the same thing. It might have been the Steelers.
It was a week or two before. But it was the same idea. For those who
Because
don't know,
they lost 19-20 to the Steelers, so I think they scored a touchdown and then they could have tied it at 20. But
yeah, same scenario.
It's not a case where Huntley is this awful quarterback. He actually fits that offense really well. Like he just plays the similar style as Lamar, so it fits perfectly. So I would go with the Ravens on that one, but on the off chance that the Colts lose, but I don't think they will.
Yeah, it's fun to think about, but probably won't happen. Yeah. We'll see.
I mean, let's move on to the NFC.
Well, what about Chargers Raiders? Are we gonna wait for that?
Shoot. Yeah. Good point. Thanks for reminding me. The Chargers and Raiders play in Las Vegas. So
Vegas.
that's a tough one. That place is gonna be rocking.
Yeah.
There are some off-field issues again for the Raiders. I saw a cornerback, Nate something. He got charged with a DUI. There was all this stuff that the coach had to answer to. So another off the field issue.
It's just because it's Vegas.
I guess so.
You got to party when you're there.
It's not like, they learned from Henry Ruggs, I guess, with his DUI. I guess it doesn't mean anything. But
no, why would you learn from somebody else?
Yeah, no.
That's rough.
So I'm going to go with the Chargers on this one just to keep it quick for time's sake. The Chargers demolished whatever team they played last week. I just saw that they demolished them. But Derwin James was mic'd up for that game, and he went over to Brandon Staley, and he was like, "Oh, we got this. Like we're on the right path. Like we're gonna win this thing. Like I think their mindset is playoffs. I think they've had that mindset for a long time this season, and for them to be right on the border, I think they're like, all right, let's finish this off. Let's get this win. Let's get into the playoffs. And now let's do our work. Because I actually, I like them as an underdog for the playoffs. So I really do hope they get in. I've been upset with them recently because of that loss to the Houston Texans, but I'm going to overlook that and actually just, be non-biased. It's funny because I'm a Chargers fan, but I dislike them after that Texans game. Yeah. But after looking back at the stats, looking at their season as a whole, I'm not going to make that harsh judgment. So I hope the Chargers win. I think they will win, get into the playoffs, and then maybe a little sleeper pick for the playoffs. Who knows?
Yeah, I think the Chargers are going to win as well. They did beat the Raiders 28-14 in Los Angeles on Monday Night Football about 2 months ago. I do think they're going to win this game. I think, like Jared said, when it comes down to it, when they're like, all right, win this game and we're in, or lose and we're out, I think the Chargers have more talent. They have the better quarterback. They literally have the better players at almost every position. So I think the Chargers are going to win this game.
Yeah, I 100% agree with both Jared and John. Chargers just have too much star talent in Eckler, Keenan Allen, Herbert, Derwin James, Bosa. That's when stars shine in big games like this. So you can expect those guys to have a really great game in this potential playoff, clinching game, if you will. So, in terms of the Raiders, they don't really have much star power other than, Derek Carr, right? I just don't think they'll be able to get it done at home. They've overcome a lot this season, and I'm proud of what they've done these past few games, but they're not going to be able to get it done.
I'm a little torn. I think personally I like the Chargers more for this, but the hesitation comes from all of you guys picking it. Not that I ever it's when we're all say the Chargers. Sign. Yeah, I'd rather one of us be wrong, because I'm thinking about potentially taking the bullet or being the standout, because part of it is the AFC as a whole. I don't think there's any for sure team that can is a consistent winner. I know we're gonna get the NFC.
No clear favorite.
Only even on the NFC I would say is has won every game that's they should win that game throughout the season is the Packers.
Right.
For the most part. Because every team other than them, and not to say the Packers are invincible, but it's more most obvious wins they've gotten. But then Ravens lose big time to the Bengals, but then I think the Chargers were killing it, and then they lose to the Ravens 6-34. Or then they lose to the Broncos, the Vikings, and then they win big against tough teams. So it's the inconsistency, I think, will be really, barring that tie scenario. I'm just gonna be the odd one out. I'm gonna go with the Raiders just because anything can happen. It's on a Sunday,
Wow.
so the saying stands. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean,
Sunday.
I will say, the Chargers, their defense has to step up a little bit.
Yeah,
Oh,
their
it's been
defense has
awful.
been horrible. Oh,
Yeah. They've been kind of crappy this year, to be honest. Their offense has been bailing them out a lot of
Oh,
high
yeah.
scoring games. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be
I mean,
interesting. It's gonna be a fun game to watch.
yeah, it'll be fun.
So no one's going for a tie.
no.
Well, all right, it's either.
I think
I'll do
Is
tie
there-
or Raiders as my
Is
pick.
there anybody here that actually thinks if the Jaguars win that they'll tie on purpose?
Not on purpose, but I think if it goes
it gets
into
to
overtime,
overtime?
I think both teams should just run the ball, like act like
Should
they're
or
trying.
will?
Well,
Will.
should. I don't know for sure. What do you mean? What do you? They should.
Well, what do
If
you
I'm
think
looking
is gonna
across,
happen?
Like
What
a
do you
slight,
think?
like both head coaches just kind of give like a slight little like nod, and that's like the
You
handshake.
just rest your career on this nod that you're
Yeah,
giving
just
the
be
other
like-
coach.
Both nod and be like, "Yep, we both agree." No, that nod, no, it's just something fly was on me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and then your career is over if you're the other coach.
No. I'm gonna first pick overall. If the Jags win, tie. If they don't, Raiders.
yeah.
That's my
Okay,
sequence
wow.
of events. Yeah.
Move on to the NFC. Let's make this
NFC.
quick.
Yes.
So, I think pretty simply, and the camera's gonna turn back on. Thank you. So I think what's gonna happen, and I know what's gonna happen. The 49ers are gonna
me too.
49ers are gonna beat the Rams.
Yeah.
Precisely.
How do
Because
you know this?
they've won the last 5 or 6 times against the Rams. They haven't
Right.
lost since the Rams Super Bowl season.
Right.
So the 49ers, it's a win. So the Saints Falcons doesn't even matter, to be honest. So the Saints could win, but it won't matter because the 49ers will beat the Rams in LA. And we're looking at 49ers taking that last spot. Anybody disagree?
No.
I would love for that to happen. I'd love for the Rams to lose, so Cowboys can win and change the playoff seeding. But do we know if Garoppolo's playing?
I
Do we
have
know?
no
we
idea.
don't know yet.
Yeah,
I mean, if
mean,
Garoppolo doesn't play, then no, they have no chance. I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
think.
I saw somewhere his thumb is not 100%. I think he's gonna need surgery.
Oh, he has an
Season,
injury?
Trey
right?
Lance did well last week.
He did
not
decent.
well enough to beat the Rams.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
He's still learning the game.
He
So
beat
I don't
the
know.
Texans
What do the Rams gain by winning? Like, do they have a reason to compete hard? Like, they're
Yeah,
12-4, so
because if the Rams lose, they could potentially drop down to the 4th spot and play the Cardinals. And
Ooh,
you never want to play a divisional opponent in the first round,
okay.
so they're gonna want to win.
Is there a chance no, probably not, right? They can't steal it from the Packers the first
No,
round
the
bye?
Packers are
They have it.
automatic clinch.
Okay.
Number
Yes. Okay. So then they're just playing to get a better opponent.
1. Right. Are you
I could
thinking they might
see-
sit players? It's
Mm,
kind of like the Eagles or the Cowboys. Like they're just playing to just to play a better opponent.
yeah. If I'm a lower ranked team, I might like strengthen before facing a better team. But if I'm higher up, I might. I don't know. You start to get into this game as a coach. Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to potentially risk your best guys getting hurt before the playoffs?
Right.
You know?
Like, is it worth risking Cooper Cup? Because if you don't have him, you're done. So
Plus, you're gonna have to if it's facing the Cardinals, you're gonna have to play them if they're as good as they
Right,
say. You're gonna
yeah.
have to play a team as good or better than them
You
at
got
some
Anyway.
point.
you got home field advantage regardless. So
Right.
Okay, so then maybe I don't. You're still gonna play a game. The buys out of the question.
I mean, if Garoppolo plays, I definitely am taking the 49ers.
I think
I
if
mean,
Trey
even-
Lance plays, I'm taking the 49ers as well.
Yeah, even if Lance plays, because the 49ers know they kind of have to win. I think the Saints, they did lose to the Falcons 27-25 earlier in the year, but I think it's pretty safe to say that the Saints, knowing that they have to win, are going to win. Like, usually when teams are like, we have to win, they'll usually play better. So, like, the 49ers know they have to win this game.
Mhm.
So, like,
Yeah.
I do agree. Even if Lance plays, I would still give them the edge.
Although if I'm the Rams, big picture, they are in it to win it. Like from the beginning of the season, we talked about the investments, the kind of contracts
Right.
they set up, giving away draft picks. That maybe part of me starts to think like this is treating it like a playoff game where you do want to, so, like, you're already in the playoffs, sure, but you want to cement the best odds. So you might go against a worse team. So maybe they start to like, I don't know.
Well, because I mean, they are playing. Okay, so even if they lose, right, and they have to play the Cardinals, yeah, they'll have home field advantage for that game. But then they won't have home field advantage for any other game.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
Mhm.
so like
yeah,
to keep that number 2 spot, you have to win. So how?
Yeah.
I mean, so then if you play the Cowboys or Buccaneers in the second round, like at least you're okay. Yep, we have home field. That's huge.
yeah. So I'm thinking maybe because they're in it to win it with that mentality, like to risk even playing the Cardinals, or you're gonna have to play them, sure, but to get into the second, they want to make it. They're gonna improve the odds as best in their favor as possible. I think they maybe treat this like a playoff game,
Yeah.
pretty much.
So would you pick the Rams then?
Yeah. Like, I've convinced myself. Yeah, the more I think about it, I think McVay's gonna get his guys in.
Yeah.
So we have 2 Rams and 2 49ers. But
Wait, Jonathan,
Nice,
you think
divided
Rams,
house.
Yeah, I mean,
whether Garoppolo plays or not?
Or if he
I
doesn't,
mean, if
or
Garoppolo plays,
49ers, or
yeah, I'm still gonna go Rams. I'm still gonna go Rams.
hey,
So,
all right.
well, Jared and I are going 49ers, whether Lance or Garoppolo plays, and you guys are going Rams, whether Garoppolo or Lance plays.
I love a divided house
Oh.
on Norm Debate. It makes it fun.
It's good. We need some sort of disagreements
Some
on
genuine disagreement than me just picking the Raiders to be different.
here. I will say,
Yeah, I mean,
history is on our side. Like, even
What,
though we're
who's-
the upset team, history
Your side or our side? Like,
49ers side.
why?
yeah,
They
The
beat
5 straight wins
the Rams.
against
The Rams haven't beat them since before COVID.
yeah,
That was a
But,
long time ago.
That was
yeah.
a long time ago.
and I think Trey Lance is probably gonna get the start. To be honest, and he's not gonna want to see Aaron Donald. He's gonna be scared. He's a rookie.
Yeah, but
Donald's
the thing
coming
is,
at him. He's not gonna. He's
I
gonna.
think
scramble
what
like most
I
of the
think
game.
what the 49ers are going to do, the Rams aren't going to score 15 points against them. They're not going to score 2 touchdowns because the 49ers know they have to win this game. The defense is going to play really well.
I'll tell you one thing. If the Rams are watching Sean McVay or whatever, Matthew Stafford, cover the middle. Cover the middle because Debo's going to be going over the middle.
Yeah, literally.
Kittle's over the middle.
It's pretty easy to guard them. Just like they never go down the sideline. They literally always go on slants to get them running in motion.
Yeah, just get some of your on Madden, like alt whatever, circle X, and then get one of your D linemen to just drop into zone over the middle.
Correct. Yep.
Just get a little backup. Don't forget the pressure.
Yeah. Just blitz 3 guys. That's it. Just have the normal.
If Donald, Von Miller, and Leonard Floyd can't get there, then you don't deserve to win anyway.
They count as 6 guys basically. So give them no hope.
What do we know?
All right. All
right. Last topic on hand. A little bit of an extra topic. Which team were you surprised didn't make the playoffs? There's a couple. I mentioned, the Seahawks with Russell Wilson. I mentioned Cleveland Browns, Steelers, even after the season they had, could potentially miss the playoffs. I'll give you guys a little bit more time to pick. I got the Cleveland Browns. Saw them last night. They lost to the Steelers. Definitely. Well, I think they were out of contention for the playoffs last week. But just a rough year for them after going 11-5. They were 7th in the preseason ESPN rankings. So definitely high hopes. They had won they made the playoffs for the first time in a long time. They won a playoff game for the first time in a long time. Lost to the Chiefs 22-17, a very close game. They were right in it. It seemed like this was it. This was like the breaking point season. And now next year you build on it and you could potentially, win your division and have a home game. That was the next goal. Unfortunately, they are now 7-9, dead last in their own division. Baker Mayfield. I'm not going to be too harsh on Baker because in week 7, he injured his shoulder. And since that point, it's been pretty brutal for him. And I heard that he's getting surgery as soon as the season ends. So that tells me that it's a serious injury, one.
I think he's getting surgery this week. He's not even going to play this week.
So he's getting surgery immediately. So that tells me he's been injured for one, and it's a serious injury, and he's just been trying to play through it. It's not like it was an injury that happened in week 7 and now it's all healed. Like, it's just been something that's been just nagging at him and bothering him. So I'm not going to be too harsh on Baker and say it's all his fault. There's been a lot of injuries. I mean, Kareem Hunt was the big one. He missed 8 games, and they live on the run game.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Chubb missed 3 games, one with COVID. OBJ getting released in week 9 was just a mess. Jarvis Landry missed 5 games. Even Baker missed 2 games. So a lot of injuries piled up. It was just very unfortunate. A lot of things didn't go their way this season. But there's some bright spots. Donovan Peoples-Jones. He is going to be the wide receiver 1 of the future for the Browns. He is so freaking good. I love him. Michigan grad. Love him with all my heart. I think they have a star in DPJ. I think once Hunt is healthy, you have the best 1-2 backfield in the league with Hunt and Nick Chubb. Did anyone disagree? Silence. That means you agree.
Give me time.
That means you agree.
All right.
Hunt and Nick Chubb.
Maybe Kamara and Ingram.
Get out of here.
No, I think Hunt and Chubb are probably better duo than Mark Ingram and Kamara.
Thank you.
I don't know about that.
Statistically, Eagles, but we already talked about.
That's a committee. That's
like a 5-man.
Yeah.
You guys are much deeper, I guess. So with that being said, it was just a disappointing season after making the playoffs, winning a playoff game. Definitely a huge drop in wins. But, they do have some decisions to make. Jarvis Landry is in his last year of his contract. Jarvis Landry is, oh my God, I just said him. Jadeveon Clowney is a free agent, so they're going to have to figure out what to do with him. In my personal opinion, just to make it quick, I think you part ways with Jarvis Landry. I think you trade him.
What?
Yeah,
Why?
I think you trade him.
Nobody wants him, though. You got to keep him. He's a veteran. He's like a leader in that locker room.
Yeah, well, it's gotten him to 7 wins, so thanks. And he was out for 5 games.
Your face just did not care as John was bringing that up. You're just like,
he's been out for 5 games. He definitely has not been the same as they expect him to be like the Dolphins version.
Kareem Hunt missed 6 games. So cut him. Get him out.
No, you're saying Jarvis Landry's a leader. Kareem Hunt's not a leader. He's just a good player. Jarvis Landry.
So we take good players over leaders, I guess.
Yes, you have to produce on the field.
Okay,
you can't be Jarvis Landry and be out 5 games. You can't. You can't have freaking. What do you have? 3 touchdowns this year? And actually, let me look that up because I think he had.
I see the argument you're making.
None. He had none.
He was a
touchdowns this year.
No, he was a weekly pick. Remember, he got the touchdown that game.
So that cements his job.
No.
Bro, he had a touchdown when he was one of my weekly picks.
No. This is not right.
I like how this is the logic we use to debate. Like, it's not really like hard stats. It's just like feelings mixed in with with a little bit of stats, like a sprinkling
he had 1.
So it goes from 3 to 0 to 1.
John used his powers. Give him.
I was the only reason why he had a touchdown this year.
That's right. You guys talked about that. Like, he hadn't had any success, and then he's a weekly pick, and then he gets his first, and I guess only one.
Get him off the. I don't care, man. That's not good.
I'll make sure not to mention his name in my weekly picks next year, and then you'll be right.
Yeah, if you didn't say his name, he would have done terrible. But no, look, Jarvis Landry is not produced at all. 1 touchdown? Oh my God,
bro!
Okay, the offense runs.
Explain to me why Galladay is still on our team.
Galladay, that's a whole nother story.
He has no touchdowns. Explain to me why Miles Sanders is on the Eagles if he has 0 touchdowns. It's not all about touchdowns.
Yeah,
it's not all about touchdowns.
It's not all about touchdowns.
Oh, really? How do you score, guys? How do you get points?
You get it to the 1-yard line and let somebody else get it in.
Exactly.
Apparently, Miles Sanders can't get it in from the 1-yard line.
No, that's why Hurts does it.
Oh my goodness.
This is
This-
such a circular
offense-
argument.
This offense is running backs and tight ends. You don't need receivers.
So
DPJ is
why
good
not? If you need him, then why not just keep him? He's a leader.
I mean, could you?
You're paying him like $1,000 bajillion to get one touchdown. One touchdown.
No,
And
they wouldn't
OBJ
even.
left, so it was
They
just
wouldn't
him.
have. They wouldn't have even had 7 wins if he wasn't a leader like he is.
Dude,
You're just trying to fall for. You're trying to get him to fall for bait at this point.
dude.
Are you
Alright,
speechless?
Wait a minute. This can't
What's
be
wrong?
right.
I think I won that debate.
DPJ had 3, and he had more receiving yards. Get
No, but
Jarvis Landry.
who had more receptions?
Dude, Donovan Peoples-Jones had more yards on 31 receptions than Jarvis Landry had 46.
So he had more.
And he had 79 targets and 46 catches. This guy drops everything.
No, Baker just can't get it to him with his torn labrum.
No, drop means it touches hands.
Stop,
How many
stop.
drops does he have?
If it touches your hands, you catch it. Am I right, Jonathan?
Yeah, but the target doesn't mean it was on his hand.
Dude, what do you mean? What else?
That means
Catch
that
it
right.
drops.
No,
I meant not target.
No, if Baker tries to throw it to him and overthrows him by 5 yards, that's considered a target because he was trying to get it to him, even though it was a bad throw.
He was the target on the play, but a drop is when he
Right.
should catch it, like or touches his hands.
Yeah, it's
but
2 different stats.
All right,
it's
I
not
don't think
you.
you're
What?
gonna want to see Jarvis Landry drop passes. Then
Well, I think you should pull it up.
here we go. Da-da-da.
Less than 5, I'm guaranteeing.
Less than 5.
Yeah.
Not even. No way, Jose.
Let me see.
Drop passes 2021. Why are they saying he's a quarterback?
He played
Actually,
it.
I think Njoku had the most receiving touchdowns for the Browns.
Well, there's an
Like
article
4.
here that says he dropped 2 passes, in one game, including a 4th down conversion.
All right, we're all right. I don't think we're gonna make progress.
Jarvis
on this
Landry is
debate.
for another day. But all I'm saying is Cleveland. That was
Cleveland's the one that you
very
think
surprised that they
you're
didn't make the
surprised. Okay.
playoffs. Anybody
I like-
else?
I like where that.
I can't believe people disagree with me on this.
That's
I like-
interesting.
I mean, I feel
Dude,
like
Allen
Victoria-
Robinson is
I
going to
can't
be a
be-
free agent next year, so you just pick up Allen Robinson. Just get
Dude,
Jarvis off your
Jarvis,
team.
Jarvis Landry is way more important to this team than you realize. He's a leader.
Yeah, he's a leader. The culture is
Dude.
important.
He doesn't have that.
Jonathan
C.
Jared does
Jonathan
not
agrees
care.
with me.
Jared does not care about
Yeah.
this.
Dude, you're telling me a leader is more important? Dude, just sign him as a coach then. He does just as good being a coach than he is a
That's
receiver.
disrespect. You can't do that. You're like, all right, bro, let's restructure your contract. You're either on the sidelines coaching or you're off the
Or
team.
you're a free agent, so pick
Yeah.
one.
You have to credit Jarvis Landry as being a part of the, being part of the
The rebuild.
change in the 0-16.
Yeah, exactly.
true.
He was the one.
You
He was one of the first ones there to be like, "All right, I'm here no matter what, even
Him
if we're
and
losing
Baker.
every game."
He was the top guy in
Nick
Miami
Foles
for a
won a
while.
championship with the Eagles, but you let him go. It's just how it is. You have to move on. You can't
I-
keep him there the whole time. You have to progress, and Wentz
And-
was the progression.
I
And
didn't know
how
you
have
didn't
the
like
how have the
Landry this
Eagles
much.
been since they lost Foles?
Well, they just made the playoffs, so thanks for asking.
Yeah, well, how
A lot
many
of-
years after? How many years?
And it didn't take that long.
So you're saying drop
Fair enough.
Landry and you'll make the playoffs in 4 years from now? That's great.
3 or 4. All right. I like. I didn't know you hated Landry this much, Jared. This is new news to me.
It's not hate. It's sad.
No,
Facts.
this seems like hate.
No.
to me.
You can't miss 5 games, and you can't catch 1 touchdown as the number 1 receiver. And DPJ, who's a sophomore in this league, has 3 touchdowns and more receiving yards. That's not.
No.
How does that even compute in people's minds?
No, I think you like DPJ, and he's a Michigan. I respect. That's fine.
The
You're allowed
stats
to
like
have a
him as
favorite.
well. I mean, 3 touchdowns
All
and
right.
more receiving.
Let-
Yeah, but
He's
it's
the
not all
leading
about.
receiver.
It's not all about touchdowns.
Oh, no, okay. To an extent it is. To an extent it isn't. Let's leave it at that. I
And
will
your
share.
best, your,
What?
your best
what?
cover guy is going to guard like Jarvis, right? That's
So-
going to leave.
So maybe
Probably
that's
not.
giving- Maybe
If
he's
they're
number
helping DPJ.
Their number
No,
1
he's the
receiver-
highest targeted player.
It looks like DPJ. Yeah, he's number 1 targeted, but DPJ is the number 1 now. I guess I should put some more respect on his name. He's gonna.
Well,
be,
that was because
he's wide
DPJ
receiver 1.
missed. He missed no games. Landry missed 5, so you can't
So,
go.
what's
Landry
the
would
per
have had
game
He
more
had less
touchdowns.
receptions though.
Oh, Landry had more yards per game.
Yeah, Landry had more
By
yards
2,
per
though.
game.
By 2. That's
Oh, he yards per game. He leads.
By 2.
Oh my gosh, you just got. Oh,
It's such a
Jared,
deceiving.
you forgot
Yeah.
to look at the per game stats.
No one gives a crap about per game. He had less games. That's
Would you
why.
rather have a guy that gets
You know how-
100 yards per
you know how
game
math
or
works?
98 yards per game? I'd
Consistency
rather have
is
the
the mark of a
100.
Did we
champion.
talk about the statistics? Like I play one snap, it's a pass, and 100% completion.
Yeah, that's exactly what it means.
we're
So
going
dropping-
in circles
So,
here.
so you're gonna crucify him for that one game that he dropped one on a 4th down?
I'm not crucifying
Okay.
him. He's a good guy. He's a great receiver, but he's just not good on the Browns. Something happened. I don't know what happened, but he's done his job. He can go now. It's on his last year of his contract. Get
Trust
him out.
me,
There's
I've-
plenty of
I-
receivers out there. Allen Robinson, Devontae Adams is going to be a free agent. There's a lot of these guys that you could
Why
put
can't you
in,
get?
and they're
Why
going to
can't
be
you
much better.
Why can't you have both? Why can't you have Robinson
Jared,
and
do you think-
Landry?
Can't because the money. They're
Okay.
they're paying Landry too much.
Jared, between Odell when he was on the Browns or Landry on the Browns, who is the better receiver?
That's the crazy thing. They both were shit. So
I
I don't know
get
what's
your-
going on.
Come on, get your story straight here.
They both were pretty bad. Like the Giants version of OBJ and the Dolphins version of Jarvis Landry. You thought those
yeah.
two, you put them on the Browns, it's like mind-blowing,
I'll
amazing.
give you that. I'll give you that. They were
And it
definitely-
wasn't.
Yeah.
And look,
that's
it
fair.
could be Baker Mayfield. I personally
Maybe.
don't think that it's Baker Mayfield's fault. I personally don't. I know he's not an amazing quarterback, but he is a very good quarterback. He was drafted number 1 for a reason. He had a lot of injuries. This offense runs with the running backs and the tight ends.
Landry had a torn labrum as well. So
Right. Right.
So how could you be like, oh, he only got one touchdown? Dude, he's got a torn thing in his ligament in his
Oh,
shoulder.
I'm joking.
Yeah, but look at all the chances he had with all the targets. He should have been able to produce.
No, targets doesn't mean that it was on target.
Yeah,
It just
that's-
Baker was trying to get it to him in that play.
Yeah,
No,
well,
'cause
if you're a
at the
good
start of this-
receiver, you catch it.
Because I like it at the
Dude, if it's 20 yards over his head, he still tried to get it to him.
You
That's a
gotta run
target.
faster. That's why he's not good anymore.
I like at the beginning you gave Baker like, oh, his shoulders messed up, can't dog him.
Now
And
you're like,
Landry-
Baker's not the problem. He's throwing it
No.
perfect. Jarvis is just not fast enough.
Exactly.
All right, I'm glad we're on the same page. now.
Because look,
No, all right. This film's okay. I don't. You want to? Because I'll give my. I want to. This alludes more. The bigger problem, in my opinion, is one-dimensional teams. Because if we're talking about teams that surprised me that didn't make the playoffs, that I have my own disappointments with, is the Panthers. Like depending so much on McCaffrey.
oh yeah, they were for me too.
I had them on fantasy, but like it goes like Darnold. Was it Darnold's on the Panthers, right? I'm mixing up.
Yep.
Yeah, like they were playing well
That's a
as
good one.
as a cohesive team. They were playing pretty good, but they needed McCaffrey, and once they lost him consistently, it fell apart. And it's just similar but different. Like I think Baker's proven to be he could win games when he's healthy. Should have had better weapons when he's healthy, but they'd also depend on the run a ton. And look at those are the other third dark horse I throw in, not to take away from the Landry debate, is Denver. I know he's one of the dark horses we talked about, but they are a weird team to assess because their record was really interesting in terms of the teams they beat. I want to see if I can bring it up, but because they finished, see if I can bring it up.
Yeah, I
7-9.
predicted Sam Darnold to be in the Pro Bowl. And
we talked about them at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, he helped me on
dark
my
horses.
fantasy team. He was leading the league in rushing touchdowns like the first 5 or 6 games.
Yeah,
He did really well and then fell off. Dang.
Right.
I know. Yeah.
Like
Panthers
honorable-
won.
So the honorable mention that I would have for teams that didn't make the playoffs that could have is for the Broncos for that reason is that they had a weird. They won the first 5, lost McCaffrey. Won the first 3, lost McCaffrey. Then they suffered, but then they beat Dallas 30-16. They also beat the Chargers 28-13. Detroit doesn't really count, but they inconsistency, but they beat some good teams. With the Broncos, I can't name every. They don't have a lot of superstars. They surely are good, but. That was the other thing. So, just trying to keep it progressing.
Another one was the Giants, John. I actually had them winning the division.
I thought they would be better, but it's injuries.
Barkley,
yep.
thought Barkley would be fully healthy for the season.
Yeah.
I think next year Barkley will be coming off of the injury he had. They say second year returns are better for that injury.
I hope so. I'm not drafting him again. I already tried it. I'm sorry.
No,
Me and
I
McCaffrey are gonna
wouldn't.
have to part ways too. He's my free.
Yeah.
I'm gonna you and Landry, me and McCaffrey. We're gonna let him be good somewhere else, but not on my fantasy team. I can't handle it. I can't handle
it. I know. I feel like McCaffrey and Caleb just go so well together. Like I just
got a good
always
rhythm.
see him on your team.
I know. I keep trying, but then like Lockett now, you know. All right, we don't. You're talking.
Anybody
Anyone
else,
else have teams?
Jonathan?
Yeah, teams that surprised you.
Yeah, well, it's not official yet, but I don't think they're gonna make it. I'm gonna say the Ravens. I remember the second game of the season.
I was just gonna mention that.
They beat the Chiefs and people gave me crap because I said, look, it's just a regular season game. It doesn't matter. Let's see what you do in the playoffs, because that's where you guys always fail.
And now they're not even going to be there.
Yeah, you're not even going to be there anymore. So I was right. Remember, he went to hug Harbaugh like they won the Super Bowl. That was annoying. I was like, why did he just do that? It's the second game.
You did not like that. I remember it now.
Yeah, and they're not going to make the playoffs. See why you should wait and be humble and not hug your coach like he won the Super Bowl? That's annoying. Bill Belichick, he doesn't do that.
Yeah,
he only
don't
does that.
celebrate too early.
Yeah, he only celebrates once they win the Super Bowl. Look at him all the time.
He doesn't even in the Super Bowl.
When they win the Super Bowl, he's like, well, we got to win week 1 next year. So
yeah.
I can't celebrate
I
yet.
don't know.
Got the next 24 hours.
Belichick only smiles when he's doing something like noobish to another
Devious.
team. Like like a deviate, like to the Jets or running the clock point. Like, that's the only time I've seen him show emotion. Not even winning, but just more pummeling his opponents psychologically is what gives him pleasure.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Ravens, they generally always have a good team, but this season I felt that they weren't that great. They almost lost to the Lions, the Detroit Lions, like the third or fourth game, right?
Was it the injuries though? The injuries piled up on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, every team has injuries. That's the name of the game.
Not like them.
Every team has injuries.
I mean, not like that.
They had like the most in NFL history.
I mean, COVID injuries, all that. A lot of teams have experienced turmoil this year, the past 2 seasons even. So you can't just try to say, "Oh, injuries." Come on, let's not use that excuse. They still have Lamar for a while.
All you guys are right. I think Jonathan's right.
Jonathan, what do you mean? Every time I would bring up the Cowboys and why they lost, you'd be like, "Well, because Sean Lee was injured."
Well, that's different.
What? How is that different?
Sean Lee, he just knew the defense too well. He couldn't play like the
too powerful
position like him. He just knew it too well.
Yeah, but you can't play if you're the Ravens. You can't play without your top 3 running backs and without your top 2 corners.
That's why I think you guys are wrong. Their running backs aren't like Derrick Henry, where if they miss, then
what about their cornerbacks?
Was it Gus Edwards? Was that no?
What about Marcus Peters?
Who's the lead running back if healthy on the Ravens?
Dobbins.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look, they have a great offensive line.
Yeah.
They have a great offensive line. I think the running back excuse is baloney. And John, you just said, what about the cornerbacks? Marcus Peters, he's decent. He's not. They don't have any elite cornerbacks. Okay, so they're all about the same.
Marlon Humphreys and Marcus Peters are pretty elite. I mean, in Madden, they have high rating, so that's what I go off of.
I'll take that.
I mean, Chase had over 200 yards against Humphrey, so I see what you're saying there. But what about Lamar getting injured?
Lamar, I mean, Tyler Huntley has proven he can do some like decent work. Like
yeah, but
Lamar
so
Jackson.
did Van Der Esch proved he could do decent work when he filled in for Sean Lee, which is not good enough.
He's gotten better. But yeah.
Is there any other team,
right.
John?
I'm just busting. I'm just.
We're gonna go through the whole roster.
It's not even the debate, but John, you're so good at like poking the spear.
Jonathan and I could literally do this for like a whole hour.
So I was trying to stop you and Jared. I was like, I know at some point you're right, but you're both right to some extent. But just keep going if no one stops it.
So
any other team?
So the one team I would say is the Dolphins because they had double-digit wins last year. They beat the Patriots in week 1, and then they lose 7 straight and then win 7 straight. I mean, who even knows what's going through their heads? But
it's a good pick.
They're basically out of the playoffs, or they are eliminated from the playoffs. But I just had more expectations than them being this inconsistent.
Yeah, I think there's quarterback issues more there, right? Like discussing.
Yeah, it was like
I'm not saying he's
quarterback.
the guy or not, but it was like second season full time or first season as a full time starter
Well, yeah, first season is full time.
after they gave away Minshew to the Eagles. So
They gave away
Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick,
Yeah.
the football team.
Yeah. I was hoping they would make the playoffs, but sadly,
That's a good pick. Yeah.
too good to be true.
If everybody's made it this far, I think next week is going to be playoff bracket.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I cannot wait
Bracket.
for the playoff bracket. Last year, I think Caleb was the champ. He had the perfect bracket after like 2 rounds.
Oh right. I forgot about that.
I can't wait for our bracket special next week.
Jonathan and I got the right
Hey, you guys
Super
both got
Bowl.
the right Super Bowl, and Jared, you predicted the Super Bowl Chiefs versus Bucks and Bucks winning.
Right. Yeah, I got the Bucks on that.
Wow.
So a little
Interesting.
teaser: I will not pick the Bucks.
Okay.
Well,
That's
maybe you should.
All right, maybe I will. You'll have to watch.
That's all it took to convince you. 20 minutes of Landry wasn't enough. Maybe you should pick the Bucks. All right, yeah, I'll do it.
That's
the
what
level
I
of
should.
logic.
So a half hour ago, I should have said maybe you should keep Landry. Oh yeah, maybe. Okay.
That's all you
can.
needed. You don't need any
Yeah.
stats, John. No logic. Just hey, maybe you should.
Maybe you should just consider it again.
All right, we gotta wrap. This has gone so long.
All right. Well,
Gonna
it's
wake up in
3
a couple
a.m. in the
hours.
morning here in the East Coast.
Oh my gosh.
If you like this video, please leave a like, comment down below the word Armada.
Or
Armada.
your guess for Washington. Yeah, Armada, and then what you would think maybe what your guess for the Washington.
Yeah,
team would
yeah,
be.
that's a good
I'd
one.
like to see some creativity from the boys, from the girls.
Yeah, that'd be nice. As always, John's fantasy football show is gonna be coming out Saturday morning. John's live show on Sunday at noon will premiere on TikTok. And Jonathan and I are gonna be filming tomorrow. We're gonna be filming a new show. I don't know what we're gonna call it yet. We'll have to think of a name. But Jonathan's gonna go through and analyze some of the biggest games or game from the last week. We're trying to prep for the playoffs so we can analyze a lot of the playoff games. So I'll just be the host, or Caleb could be the host, wherever. And Jonathan is going to be analyzing all the games and breaking down plays of why, the play worked, or why the play blew up, or why it didn't work out, or whatever. Just get it more educational on Dorm Debate. As we got all these followers, now that fantasy's over, we want to bring something else to the table. And Jonathan's had a lot of experience. He was in Texas high school football for how many years? 6, 7, 8 years?
High school 4, but
High school 4, but football forever.
Yeah, 6 or 7 years probably.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for that. I don't know when we'll post that, but be on the lookout for that. And yeah, hopefully, if you guys are all in the fantasy football championship for ESPN, I heard it's week 18, so hopefully you guys win your fantasy matchup, win your championship. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys next week for our playoff bracket.